She sent me a text saying, "We're finally going to be parents." But the baby wasn't mine, so I sent the truth to her boss's wife and watched everything collapse. A month ago, I thought my life was finally settling into something solid. I'm 32, and at that time I was engaged to Alyssa, who was 30. We had been together for 5 years, engaged for one of them, and while we had our share of arguments and misunderstandings like any couple, I always believed we were building something real, a future together. So when we sat down one night, lit only by the faint glow of our living room lamp, and decided to begin trying for a family, it felt like we were stepping into the most sacred chapter of our lives. I thought we were ready. I thought we were in this together. I thought she meant it. We'd been trying for over a year. A year of hope, heartache, and quiet despair as every pregnancy announcement on our social media felt like a knife to the gut. There were nights we held each other in silence. Others when we fought over little things because the pain was just too much to carry inside. Eventually, after one especially emotional week, we agreed to consider fertility treatment. At least I thought we had. I truly believed we were walking through that storm together, step by step, side by side. Then, out of nowhere, 3 weeks ago, I got a text at work. I'll never forget it. "We're finally going to be parents. I can't wait to hold our little miracle. I'll explain everything when you get home." I read that message 3, maybe 4 times. My hands were shaking. My heart felt like it would burst. I don't think I'd ever smiled that hard in my life. I didn't ask questions. I didn't hesitate. I just told my manager I had an emergency and bolted from the office. On the way home, I stopped at a baby store. I didn't even think. Just grabbed the first gender-neutral onesie I could find. Then flowers. Then a scrapbook titled, "Our IVF Journey." I wanted to document every moment. The beginning of a story we would tell our child someday. I was overflowing with joy and gratitude, completely unaware that everything I knew about my life was about to implode. When I walked into the apartment, Alyssa was already home, sitting on the couch with this calm, almost ethereal glow on her face. She stood up, hugged me so tightly, and smiled that soft smile I loved. She didn't say much, just that she was tired and we could talk in the morning. I didn't push. I just let the moment be. That night, I fell asleep holding her, dreaming about paint colors, baby names, and tiny hands gripping my finger. But that peace didn't last. That night, while sorting through the mail, I came across an envelope from the fertility clinic. I opened it casually, thinking it was an old statement or some routine notification. But the date was recent, just 11 days ago. And it wasn't generic. It was a detailed invoice for an embryo transfer. My name was on the billing. My credit card had been used. But the details of the procedure, the most important details, were ominously empty where my information should have been. There was no mention of me as a donor. No consent form from me. No indication that I'd been involved at all. Just a solo procedure. I sat down, clutching that paper, my mind spinning. We hadn't been to the clinic in months. Nothing had progressed since that first visit. How could this have happened without me? Was it a mistake? A mix-up? Desperate for clarity, I logged into the clinic portal with the credentials Alyssa and I had saved together. The account still worked, and what I saw crushed the air from my lungs. Dozens of appointments, consultations, blood tests, hormone injections, egg retrievals, all listed as solo treatments. Each entry under her name alone. No mention of me. But there was another name, Nathan Caldwell. Her boss. The same Nathan I'd met once at a holiday party. Polished. Married. 2 kids. The kind of guy who talks about work-life balance with pride. Alyssa had always spoken of him fondly. Said he was supportive. Professional. A mentor. But now, his name was popping up everywhere. Especially as her emergency contact. I shut the laptop. Just sat there in silence. My thoughts jumbled. My hands trembling. I tried to convince myself I was overreacting. That there had to be an explanation. But I couldn't let it go. By morning I had a plan. I didn't want to accuse without proof. I wanted answers. Quietly. Calmly. When she woke up, I acted normal. Smiled. Told her I was still in shock but so excited. She returned my smile with a slightly nervous one of her own. Said things had happened so quickly, and she'd explain everything after a check-in with the doctor. I nodded, pretended to believe her, but inside, my heart was breaking, and my rage was simmering. After she left for work, I went back into the portal. I reviewed every appointment, every test result, every entry in her patient summary. It was all there, proof that she'd been pursuing fertility treatment without me for months. And not just that, I found the consent form for the embryo transfer, signed electronically, by her, and by Nathan Caldwell, his full name, his email, his consent to be the biological father of this child. I sat there, staring at the screen, my vision blurring. I needed to know more, so I did something I'm not proud of. I opened her email. Our shared home computer had her account saved, and I just opened it. There was no trust left to betray anyway. What I found confirmed everything. There were dozens of emails from the clinic, every one of them forwarded to Nathan's personal email. I found a reply from him about her egg retrieval appointment. I can't believe we're doing this. I'm scared, but I want this baby with you. Just promise me your fiancé never finds out. That was the moment I knew. This wasn't just a betrayal. It was a conspiracy, a carefully constructed web of lies meant to deceive everyone involved. I took screenshots of everything, the portal, the consent form, the emails. I didn't confront her that night. Instead, I cooked dinner, poured her wine, and asked how she was feeling. She said she was a little nauseous but happy. I asked about the transfer. She gave me a ridiculous story. Something about the clinic using leftover samples from a previous consultation that didn't exist. I smiled, nodded, said, "Wow, that's amazing." She believed I bought it, but I was already gone. The next morning, she kissed me goodbye and left for work, saying she'd stop at the pharmacy. As soon as the door shut, I opened my laptop. Then I opened Facebook. Nathan Caldwell's wife had a business page, a local photographer. I sent her a polite message, told her I had something she might want to see. I attached every screenshot, the consent form, the emails, the invoice, and I added one more thing, a gift basket, ordered online, filled with baby items, bottles, a teddy bear, a congratulatory card. I included a note, "Congratulations on your new responsibility. Thought you deserved to know." I had it delivered to Nathan's office. The next day, by noon it had arrived, and by evening the first cracks in her mask appeared. Alyssa came home quiet, uneasy. Her phone was practically glued to her hand. She was waiting for the blow to land. When she walked into the kitchen and saw the printed emails and clinic documents laid out on the counter, she froze. Completely. No words. Just tears. She reached for the papers like she could rip the truth away. "It's not what it looks like," she said. "I was scared. I thought you'd say no. I wanted this with you. Nathan was just biology." I asked one question, "Why did you lie?" She had no real answer. Just excuses. She said I'd hesitated about IVF, that she thought she could control it. Surprised me, that I'd love the baby no matter what. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just pointed to the suitcase already packed by the door. I told her to go. She begged, sobbed, said she loved me, that the baby didn't have to change things. But it already had. She left that night. I closed the door, turned off my phone, sat in silence. Within 48 hours, Nathan's wife filed for divorce. She wasn't quiet about it either. Posted screenshots, told everyone. The photography community was small, and the news spread fast. She also emailed Nathan's company, including HR and legal, with all the documentation I sent her. By the end of that week, Nathan was fired. Turns out he had logged fertility appointments as client meetings, misused company funds. Alyssa lost her job too. HR reviewed her sick leave claims and found them fabricated. The fallout was brutal. Friends started messaging me, some angry, claiming I'd destroyed a pregnant woman's life, that I was petty, cruel, vengeful. I said nothing. I just posted one screenshot, the consent form with Nathan's name, and one email, Just promise me your fiancé never finds out. I didn't tag anyone. Didn't explain. I didn't need to. The truth spoke for itself. Then I disappeared. Deleted my accounts. Changed my number. Took time off work. Moved in with my brother across state lines. I needed silence. Healing. Peace. Just a few days ago, I got an email from Alyssa's sister. She said Alyssa was 8 weeks pregnant. Alone. Unemployed. Facing eviction. Nathan was gone. His ex-wife took the kids and left. He was sleeping on friends' couches. She asked if I'd consider being in the baby's life, even as a friend. I never replied, because deep down, I knew this wasn't about the baby. It was about finding someone to save her, to clean up her mess, to pay the bills. But I wasn't that man anymore. I was never supposed to be that baby's father. I was just the one she hoped would pay for it. If you found this story unbelievable, painful, or powerful, hit that like button, subscribe for more real stories, and let me know in the comments what you would have done.